This is the funnest night ever!
Yeah, quit yanking our anuses! Two people get together, do something social, have a few drinks, yada yada yada.
It's called Two Brothers. Two Brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
Welcome to the first episode of the Two Brothers podcast. You may know us from our show El Camino. My name is Alberto.
My name is Edgar.
And we haven't done anything like this before. We've been doing kind of like a web series that ended last year. And we were planning on doing some other shit, but, you know, with the pandemic that happened, that didn't really pan out. So instead, we're going to do a podcast. We're going to see how it goes. We're recording on a pretty shitty microphone, so that's probably why the quality's not great, but whatever, that's not the point. Anyways, this is the Two Brothers podcast, and it's a podcast dedicated to just, I don't know, just shooting the shit. We're going to talk about comic books, talk about video games and shit.
Pop culture,
Movies. Yeah, all that
shit.
It's also we're gonna be cursing a lot. There's no way we're gonna fucking censor ourselves. And there's a lot of people on like YouTube and all that where they just you know, they have to censor themselves, and we're not gonna be doing that because it's just hard to do sometimes. It's too much to keep track of. We're already trying to fucking sound natural, and that's not.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That's already weird as it is. Anyways, on the first episode, we're going to be talking about how we got into comic books, how it all started, because it didn't happen when we were like kids
or teenagers.
No, it happened when we were
mid-20s.
In our 20s, and it had a...
Well, hold on. You were still in high school, right? Or no?
This was after high school. It wasn't 2015.
Yeah, okay.
So we got into comic books. Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of where it started for us.
So, hold on. It starts off because you wanted to go to comic books, or was it after your...
it was after
wisdom teeth, or you got
braces
on? Okay. You came up to me one day and told me you wanted to go to the comic books just for the fuck of it, right? And I agreed.
It was because I just got my braces on, and you know I like to eat, and I couldn't do that anymore for a while.
Okay.
So I was like, well, if I can't go to Chick-fil-A and get myself a nice chicken, I might as well go to the comic book store and find some way to.
But why out of the blue?
I don't know. I really don't. Well, I do know because it was. Avengers Age of Ultron had come out like the same week that I got my braces and everything, so that's when I really started to take that whole like cinematic universe seriously and everything, and that's when we started.
Well, we didn't start collecting or anything. We went to a comic book store and we looked around. We didn't know where to start. We didn't know anything about trades. Well, we did, but we didn't know that's what they were called, or
all we know is that they were like graphic novels. That's what we called them by. Yeah, trade paperbacks. We didn't know what that was, or like anything like that.
We went in there and we bought a 10-pack
like mystery box
or something for like under $10 or $8.
Yeah. And it came with like some pretty kind of boring comics. I mean, they were all right.
Well, yeah, then that's why I guess you got your interest after reading a comic book out of it.
Yeah, I think it was a Fantastic Four comic book. I can't recall what it was about, but after that, we decided we wanted to expand our horizons.
So yeah, it started like that little by little, and I don't know how I got into it. That got me so. Like, now I collect comic books on a daily basis. Every weekend I go to stores and comic book stores and collect my comics that I want. But I don't know what got my interest. It's so weird.
I want to say it's because of, like... Well, because it started with learning about, like, variants. Learning about, like, which issues were important. The key issues. I think that's what really got you into it. Was, like...
I think so. I remember we started like we just picking certain issues,
Yeah, like
not knowing what. Yeah,
what ifs and stuff like
yeah,
that.
the what ifs was a lot that we got.
Mm-hmm. We got
So
a lot of
I guess
those.
that was a good start for us to
Yeah.
start reading into comic books or was the what ifs and
And it was primarily in Mile High, the big warehouse store.
yeah.
That's where we started our comic book hunting. And for when we started out, that was like that shit was huge, man. There was
For
so
first
many
time we went
comic
there,
books.
yeah.
So many comic books.
Yeah, so we started like that with the what ifs. Then
Mm-hmm.
I think we got one of those previews that you get in the comic book stores to see what's going to happen, and it was the right time.
Yeah. It was all
Was it? I think Secret Wars set up all new, right?
Yeah.
Or no? The new Secret Wars that came out
Yeah.
in 2015.
Yeah, and I don't know if I can't remember if it came out when we started collecting comic books, but that was our first like
Event, I would say.
comic book event. We started picking those issues.
Okay,
up.
so yeah, but we got those previews, and it was right in the beginning where they're gonna reboot the Marvel universe and the comic book, with the all new, all different.
Yeah.
And we started picking. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna start reading all new Wolverine, all new Hot Guy, maybe, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we got our pull list for, to have our own issues, and we're at there just because I noticed every Wednesday when you try to get your own comic books, they would run out, and it would suck that you missed an issue or some certain event too. So it was a good idea to get a pull list. That's what it's called, right? Or
it was a pull list
to save a spot for you and get your comics and yeah.
Then we started volunteering at the comic book store. Mile High, we started doing that like 2-4 hours every week. Not even every week. It was like for a while we did it for a few days.
Yeah, for a few days.
And they gave us like store credit. We used that to buy
our comics.
That's how we fed the addiction.
Because I don't know if I was working at the time, but yeah, that's how we did to
keep it going
for a comic.
We just collected comic books. And that was a lot of fun, and then we started finding a lot more other comic book stores around Colorado, like Hero Headquarters in Westminster.
Yeah,
that's where we currently go to
get our pull list. That's where it's at.
Shout out to Hero Headquarters. You know, they're pretty cool.
Yeah,
we've been with them since when? But when did we start?
I'll say 2015.
That's when it was like the tail end of 2015.
I think so.
Because we went to another comic book store, which we will not name. We don't like those guys.
Yeah, we don't.
And so that's where we collect our comic books first, and then we went to Hero Headquarters and started doing that.
We would spend a lot of money on our fucking
almost $100.
Half our checks went
into comic books alone.
Like $100 or $80. Remember that one time we went to Mile High, and I think that's where we got that Daredevil and Punisher comic.
Was it? Oh, Daredevil. Oh, that's right.
You know, I forgot the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I got my Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness.
Which was something we even like knew about that as like kids.
Yeah, we did. But seeing it and having it like hell,
yeah.
That got us. I remember I spent like at least $80 on that day too. We had a stack of fucking comics.
Stack of comic books. That was so much money, man. And for a bit of context, we would collect graphic novels first, and then we started doing single issues.
Yeah.
We didn't even know what the fuck single issues were.
We didn't know variants.
We didn't know what variants were. The prints.
Second printings and all that. And
but as frustrating as it was also really fun to learn about that. Learn about like when it got rebooted again.
Yeah.
And where to start. The New 52, like DC New 52.
You know what? Yeah, now it's coming back to me. Yeah, I was working at the time, and for some reason, I would have Wednesdays off sometimes, and that's when new comic books drop on Wednesdays. Now it's Tuesdays with DC,
Yeah.
Then Wednesday it's Marvel, but back
Is
in
that,
the day,
is that what it currently is?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
because
I don't know.
DC's not with Diamond.
That's
Diamond's
right.
the guys who have the.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know why I keep thinking they're all coming out on the
But
same day.
anyway, yeah, back in the day they were on Wednesdays, and shit. We would go to get our comic books in the pull list. They want to go to that comic book store that's not named because
Yeah,
they're assholes.
We can't name them.
To get our hip hop variants.
Yeah.
And we would get there and just randomly pick them and, pick the ones that, we liked.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, man, that was. And then eventually, whenever anyone gets into comic books, they want to go to a con. And so that was the next big thing for us.
What year was that? 2018?
2018.
18?
18.
Wow.
But we had a chance to go, and of course,
the year before that,
yeah, we
2017.
Some things prevented us from going. Stan the man was here,
Stan Lee.
but we couldn't see him or something.
I think that year was also with. I think that year or the year we went was the year we went was Frank Miller was there that year.
Oh, that's right.
But you had to buy some tickets to go see him, and it was kind of expensive.
And everything,
but yeah,
that whole experience was really fun too. Going to Comic-Con here in Denver. I think we went to like the last good one in my opinion.
Before I went to shit.
Before I went to shit, because like no offense to Denver Comic-Con, which is called Fan Expo now, which is weird. But then before that was Pop Culture Con.
I don't know. Just keep one fucking name in.
Right.
It's
but
like,
when it was
Denver
Comic-Con, they when we went, they had like Scott Snyder,
but
they
he
had
didn't
Tom
show
King.
up.
Oh yeah, Scott Snyder didn't show up.
He was supposed
Greg
to.
Capullo was there.
Uh-huh.
James Tinian. Who else was there? David Fincher, was that his
David
name?
Finch.
David
Finch.
David Finch.
Brian, what's his name? Brian Azzarello?
Yeah, Brian Azzarello. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Mm-hmm. Got some comic book signed from them, which was really fun. We stood in line for that shit, and I felt I had a gut feeling because we had time.
Oh yeah, we looked around and you told me let's go.
We have to go.
We have to go back in line. Oh really? He said yes.
And then the line started to get bigger and larger.
Yeah. So I got in line to get signed with Greg Capullo, and
I went to go get my Batman comic book signed from Tom King.
Yeah, we were across from each other. We're all giving thumbs
we
up
giving
and we're
thumbs up
giddy and
everything.
shit.
Yeah. Oh man, that was so. And then the guy behind me was like, he was so specific about where he wanted Tom King to sign. He had it like taped, so he knew. He had his fucking was it CGC, right? I think he had one of those guys come or go there to officiate or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I was talking to the guy in front of me. I think he talked to me like, "What are you gonna have us signed?" I had. I just came out, but a couple months ago it came out, and it was DC Metal.
Dark Knight's Metal.
Yeah, the first
issue.
And Reborn, I think, and that was it.
Yep. And I got Batman issue 50, right?
No, 24.
24. Yeah, 24.
Where they propose.
And issue 1, right? Did I bring
Vision. Yeah.
Oh, issue 1 of Vision.
No, you got the first Batman, Rebirth, #1.
Yeah.
Signed by David Finch.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It didn't get signed from Tom King, though, right?
No. Because it was only 2
that's
for free.
Right. So he's coming
if you
back
got
to
more,
me.
then it was like $3 or $5 extra.
Yep, it's coming back to me now. Yeah, we did that. That was so much fun, though, man. That's where we picked up the first Immortal Hulk, which
if it wasn't for me to ask you to pick it up,
I made the mistake of not picking it up. Thank God we picked it up.
No, thank God to me, Howard. I told you pick it up. Look, it's the #1. Whatever. Don't miss.
And then we also got, I think I got Justice League issue 1.
Yep.
That Jim Lee variant, which is fucking, oh, it's so good.
Well, before we do more of our, Comic-Con, let's go back to the signing. So the guy in front of me said he had the Gunslinger Spawn, the 2-issue series, 2-part series, I think. Mm-hmm. And there were nice covers. Fuck, that's cool, dude. You gonna get that signed from Greg Capullo?
Yeah.
now looking back, like he did a good choice because now they're going for, big bucks.
See, that's something that I wish I would have maybe picked some different comic books to get signed. I think I did good though, right? Like Division.
Number one.
Not a lot of people brought
Even
Vision.
the guy told you, so no one brought that.
Yeah, everyone was bringing their issues of Mr. Miracle and Batman.
Batman's, and that was it.
So I guess I did it pretty good.
Why does everybody was going for Spawn or Batman with his run with Scott Snyder, but no one had Reborn like I did too.
Mm-hmm. So we went to Comic-Con with
didn't
his
he
experience.
didn't he comment on your shirt?
Yeah, he liked it. That was like a DC Rebirth
Mm-hmm.
shirt, and he was like, "Oh, that's a cool shirt."
Yeah, I talked to Greg. I told him, "Hey, what would you draw, or what were you listening while you were drawing? Death metal or whatever."
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Dark Knight's metal. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said, "I'll listen to everything, brother. Like Judas Priest. What else? He named a lot of '80s metal, and I said, "What about Black Label?" He said, "Yeah, that too, brother."
That's cool,
Yeah.
brother. That's so awesome.
And what was the question? I asked the other guy next to him. I forgot. His name is Jonathan. Oh my god. He works with Snyder too on his Batman run, and he did a Reborn with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there with Greg. Yeah, sorry if I butcher his name. I know his name is Jonathan, I think, but his last name I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him. I told him, when are you guys coming back to do Reborn? And he said it's up to Mark Miller to tell us, to do a volume 2 or whatever. I'll say, okay, thanks, son.
Which we haven't gotten.
Yeah, we haven't got it, but
gotten
hopefully
Reborn.
there's a continuing on that. Then right after we were done, I saw the line for Brian Azzarello. He came back and sat down. So let's go I'm gonna get my Wonder Woman new 52
You got that
signed. No one was there, so I just got up and told me he was doing something. He said, "Hold on, give me a second, right?"
Right.
I'm like, man, don't be a dick. That was my first thing, but I think he was doing something important, and he looked up, and he saw I was having a Bane.
You were wearing a Bane, like
T-shirt,
like animated graphic
from
T-shirt.
from the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
He looked at my shirts, and that's a cool shirt, man. And I think he looked at his what's his name? Publicist or some guy behind us. What do you think? He did a cool shirt.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
And he did it real quick with my 52, and that was it.
That was really cool.
Because I think people started to line up after that when they saw me, get it signed. We also met what's his name? Comics Explained
on YouTube, which and he was such a nice guy too. He had us sign
something for him,
so that he could remember.
At the time he was here in Denver.
That was really cool. So he was a really nice guy. We met Deacon.
Deacon from
What We Do in the Shadows. What's his name? Let me find out what the actor's name. That way we can at least give credit
to him.
I
took pictures with him, which was cool. And you got something signed from him from What We Do in the Shadows.
Jonathan Brugg.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Brugg. Yeah, I think that's. Hopefully I'm saying it right, but yeah, we had that. We had like a picture. I had a picture signed from him, and he was a nice guy too.
I think we asked about What We Do in the Shadows
before
the show was announced and everything, and he said, "Yeah, they were in the talks of making a sequel to the movie or something." He said, "But he doesn't know yet." But yeah, he said he was talking to the guys about it, and I guess it ended up being that show that we see now. So,
which is a great show too.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that whole experience was great, and we didn't go the next year because we just didn't have anybody good.
It was mostly fucking authors,
and all that. Which I mean, I'm an author too. I wrote a book, but like I don't want to go to Comic-Con.
What book that you wrote? What's it called?
It's called This Is Love. And I wrote it. It came out 2018.
Look it up, guys. It's on Amazon. How do you look it up? Just put This Is Love?
Just put it, This Is Love. It's weird. You have to put This Is Love, a novel.
A novel?
And then it shows up. You can't.
Okay.
I think you can put this is Love Is War. I don't know.
It's under Alberto Moreno's.
Morinos. Not it's Moreno, not Morinos.
Moreno, yeah. If you guys interested, so
Yeah, and so yeah, I'm an author myself. I enjoy. I like. I'm writing my second book, but going to Comic-Con, I don't want to go meet another author. Dude. I want to meet comic book writers and comic book artists.
I think the next day, we went 2 days. We went on a Friday, then we went Saturday, right?
We went on Saturday, and that's when we just went to go to different vendors that we didn't get a chance to go to.
Because we were in line for fucking, not forever, but
For the bulk of the first day, we just went to go get our shit signed, and then we got tired and all that. Fucking we got some pretty cool prints. So we got Doctor Strange print.
You mean a poster? Or picture?
Yeah, but didn't they call it prints?
Yeah, prints. Yeah.
And then we got like other prints from other artists, which is fun.
So I was gonna say, supposedly that Saturday for just like an hour or two, J. Scott Campbell showed up.
Yeah, did you buy something from
I
him?
bought something from him on Friday.
Right.
And they were telling me, yeah, he's gonna be here tomorrow, guys, and blah blah blah, this and that. But it was for some certain time, and we didn't go at that exact time, so we missed him. But yeah, he had.
Okay. And we're back. Sorry about that. Batteries died.
Are you really gonna say that?
That's what happened. We're giving you a reel on the podcast.
All right, so we're talking about we got the next day on a Saturday on our Comic-Con. We bought the buy two get one, which was fucking cool. The one I always wanted, and they had it, was that Harley Quinn Greg Horn cover, where she's blowing you a kiss, and she has all this money around.
Oh yeah.
And it was a variant cover, so it was nice. The Venom variant cover too.
Yeah, that's what we're. Yeah.
Oh my! Why are we so blanking on the last one?
I'm not sure what the last.
Oh, it was the Adam. It wasn't Adam Hughes. It was the Mary Jane one. With the picture.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. See,
so,
that's. I knew it was Adam Hughes. I just forgot which one it was.
Dude, I bought a whole bunch of Adam Hughes. So we got that. You got that one. I got the Power Girl one. I got a Supergirl one. And around that time, I started to know Archer. So I bought a whole bunch of him too.
Mm-hmm.
I bought his collection. Was it Archer? No. I bought a whole bunch of Jenny Frison.
Frison?
Frison.
Let's see if we can get her name right. Hold on.
Right? Frison. I bought her all of her Wonder Woman stuff that she did.
Oh my god, I fucking suck at searching shit up.
I think it's Jenny Frison. Frozen.
Now you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
If I know, well, we'll see, Smartass, see how you say it.
Oh yeah, you got it right.
What?
Jennifer Frison?
Frison.
Yeah. She's a great artist too, though.
So yeah, but by that time we already had like fucking maybe 5 long boxes, dude. That's how deep we were in our comic book collection. You know?
And we still are. You know, we're still collecting a lot of comic books every Tuesday, Wednesday, and wow, we got some good collectibles too now at this point.
What do you mean?
Ultimate Fallout, first appearance of Miles Morales, which we had the first printing of, and then we fucking sold it.
Don't know why, dude.
We had Batman Damned, and we sold that too, and that was a pretty controversial comic book. For those who don't know, that's because that he shows his wiener in that comic book, and that became a huge topic of discussion for a while. And yeah, I mean that's where our comic book hunting is now. Is we're just collecting key issues, at least the ones that we can get. We're banking on them and shit. Then we started discovering like Donny Cates, who's also an amazing writer.
Like our favorite writers.
We started to really get familiar with our favorite artists and favorite writers
Writers,
and
yeah.
everything. And oh man, comic books have really become like a therapy for us, I think. Which you've talked about too. Going to a comic book store, it feels like just like everything
Yeah, it
goes
still
away.
does.
It's like
It's so
whatever
weird.
you're feeling is out the door. You know.
Yeah, once you stepped into that comic book store, for me, I don't know for you if it works the same way. All my anxieties or my depression or the way I felt that day, shitty day,
Mm-hmm.
going to a comic book store for me makes me happy, and going for the hunt or just looking around even makes me happy just to be in the presence of those books. Sounds corny as shit, but yeah.
Right, that's how. Then, so I mean, like that's another thing we'll probably talk about in the podcast is like, anxiety and depression, which I only speak for myself, but kind of played a huge part with doing why it took so long sometimes to make videos, Caminos, because I was probably dealing with some anxiety or probably had to do with like depression and shit like that. I wish I was more consistent, but finding outlets to deal with that. I think comic books is still one of the best ways for me to relieve anxiety and depression, especially for you. I know that that's a huge thing for you. I think that's why we love comic books so much. Is just it's another world we can explore. And
Yeah, it's not because we like collecting them or flipping them or whatever, Yeah,
which is fun too. It has
It
its own
is.
thrill and everything.
we like to read them too, and even though how do I want to put this? Even though they are just comic books, they have how do you say those superheroes that you look up to. They deal with the same shit you're dealing with too, like depression, anxiety, or
like the Hulk,
stuff
has,
like that.
they all have their own kind of anxiety and each character they talk about mental
subject
health.
matter. That's
Yeah.
what I was that was the word I was looking for.
X-Men is kind of just about the outsiders
Uh-huh.
and shit like that. And I'm not, I don't read too much X-Men comic books, but I would say it's one of my favorite like groups in the Marvel universe that I enjoy. But like, Batman and the Incredible Hulk, Daredevil, and John Constantine, all these characters that kind of they tackle the same thing, mental health, which is really, for someone like me who just deals with a lot of anxiety, it's good to be able to read that in a comic book.
So you want to say we started in 2015, right?
Yeah.
It was like in the last couple issues of New 52, like the New 52 for DC was about to
end. Yeah.
Right? And All New and Rebirth, and I think the next one that Marvel did was called Marvel Now. They kept like they rebooted like their comic books like 3-4 times within the year. Like, come on, man,
that was really
stop with that shit. Just keep it going, But yeah, so now that we're let's say what 6 years in
6 years in now,
collecting comics.
6 years.
Like, what was your favorite comic book to read, or so far? Like,
if we're talking about like right now, Batman is still really good.
Uh-huh.
I really like what James Tynion's doing with his run, especially with Joker War. That was really good. I liked that. But we're talking about when we first started. I think I read a lot of Deadpool, man.
Oh yeah, you collected a lot of Deadpool.
And I mean, obviously, because it was around the time when they were going to release the first film and everything, so they were really heavy into fucking Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like Deadpool versus Thanos.
Deadpool versus Gambit.
Deadpool versus the Punisher. Was there
Yeah.
a Punisher one? Daredevil and Black Panther, which I still haven't read yet.
I just think that they went overboard with that. Remember too soon was like too soon?
I think it was too soon.
Then Back in Black.
And
Mercs
kills the Marvel Universe, like the
Part
second
2,
one, yeah.
Mercs with what is it? Merc with Money or something?
Mercs with Money, I think it was called.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of Deadpool comic books, but that's what I primarily read when we first started was that, and also Batman. Still, that I think Batman and like Deadpool were like the two. And then Doctor Strange too when he came out with this all new, all different, the Jason Aaron run, which was fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah,
that was so good. I enjoyed that so much. That might have been like my favorite comic book run, and it came from like one of my favorite comic book characters. And then Daredevil 2 is also pretty good.
This one
This
you're
one
reading now, or like the ones before, or what?
Before was good, but I think now they really found a groove and a rhythm, and it feels like, I told you this before, it feels like a fucking, like the season 4 of like Daredevil that we never got. That's how it feels. That's how good it is. So, what about you? What are your favorite? What were your favorites before, and like versus what you're reading now?
Before, the all new was all new Wolverine.
That was fucking.
I like that.
I was reading that too.
X-Men 92. The Secret Wars and the one right after was good.
Gwenpool too.
Gwenpool.
Reading Gwenpool.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Gwenpool is a shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're having continue right now, but yeah, she I liked her. Right now, it just finished. It was just a 4-part series. Was that Wolverine? I think it's called Black.
I gotta jump into that when you were telling me
Black
about
and Blood or some shit like that, or something like that. Just the new one that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god,
That's
that was
so
good.
Fucking good.
Crossover right now.
From Donny Cates.
Donny Cates.
He's killing it right now, dude.
You Venom. You're reading Venom. King in Black. What was the Absolute Carnage?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Maximum Carnage. Yeah, Absolute Carnage. So, yeah, I mean, that's where we're at now with comic books.
Yeah.
And
we can go all day talking about this, but yeah.
Yeah, but we want to, we don't want to ramble on for too long for comic books. This is more like a introduction to our podcast. We might keep it, for a theme. Sometimes we just talk about comic books for like a few weeks, or maybe we'll talk about video games. Is going to be a big one too. So we're probably getting into that. But really, this is what we love, and
hopefully you guys like the same stuff we do.
I know that there's people out there who love fucking comic books and video games. There's no way, man.
There has to be that moment that we had, like, just one day going to the comic book store and picking up a book, and you're, holy shit, what the fuck?
And especially with the pandemic last year, it really hit everybody hard. I think a lot of people had a chance to get into comic books and like video games and shit like that. So, hopefully this podcast is for you. We enjoyed doing the El Camino videos when we shot those. Maybe we'll even talk about El Camino now that all came about. Why it's over. But for now, this is what we enjoy talking about. Comic books and video games. That might be the next episode. Who knows?
Well, no, so we'll see.
Who knows? But this is the first episode. Two brothers.
I know
it's not as hilarious as the intro or whatever, but we're just still finding our groove. So we'll be back with our second episode sometime soon, whenever we decide we want to fucking record it. And we'll find a home for the podcast too. We'll probably think about like YouTube, Spotify, whatever. I don't know. I'll figure that shit out.
Okay.
Because you know me, I'm notorious for fucking taking forever.
Yes.
When it comes to releasing shit and all of that, but hopefully we get on a groove and we start doing this shit on a more daily basis. And before we go, I want to give a shout out to Maurice. He's a good friend of mine. He's gonna have a YouTube channel coming up. Depending on when we release this episode, I'm pretty sure that's when his YouTube channel is gonna start.
Yeah, when we release this, yeah.
Let me pull up his YouTube channel. I think it's Action Nerd, but I want to make sure I get it right so that everyone can go out there and fucking subscribe, because he's gonna do some great things. I saw a little bit of
preview
of a preview, and man, it's so fucking good. I'm really impressed by what he's doing, but let me see if I can fucking find it. I can't believe I can't find it. Did I even subscribe to it?
Albert.
Come on, he sent me the thing and I subscribed. Well, Action Nerd Mania. He's probably listening to this right now. He's like screaming at the computer, telling me what it is. But it's Action Nerd Media. Go subscribe to that. At that point, that will already be out, and we'll be back soon with the second episode, talking about video games,
comics,
comic books, movies. Oh, man, we should have done a review of Justice League.
We'll see.
Well, no, who knows? That shit was fucking 4 hours long, and it's better than the Whedon version. We'll just say that.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll be back with another episode. My name is Alberto.
Edgar.
And this has been
Two Brothers.
Two Brothers.